Hello and welcome back. There is a bit of a gap from the last video that I made and this video, and we had a rather horrible time. My eldest was involved in a very nasty traffic accident. Thank God he's okay. He's got a lot of healing to do. He broke his back and his neck. He survived, thank God. So there has been a break. I apologise for that, but let's get back to business. And I'm thinking about where we was last time. So let's crack on. So let's see where we left off. So I made the table with the carved legs, if you remember that. I'm going to paint that today. And I also found in my stash of goodies a chair that was ready made. Yes! So I didn't have to make one and go through all the palaver. So I was really pleased with that. And if I get our little miss on the chair, she's pretty much in scale. She is pretty much in scale, so I can get away with that. So yes. And it kind of goes. So the height is pretty good. I mean, it's spot on, isn't it? So I'm really pleased with it. So I'm going to paint these. Now, I could have stained them, but I thought, do you know what? It gets a bit boring. Plus, the kitchen is 1950s-ish. Late 40s, early 50s. And they were kind of getting away from the natural wood in kitchens. I mean, that did come back in the 70s, but in the 50s, 40s and 50s, everything was painted and they like flat colour. And I thought, right, I'm going to go for that with this. So I will see you later on. Watch me do this.
So I'm going for a nice pale blue, quite a popular colour for this era. And I'm just going, it's just an acrylic. I'm going over the table and the chair, give it a good couple of coats, and later on I will varnish it. Now while that's drying, I'm going to make a sofa. Now I'm using Margaret as a size guide because I want to make sure that she does actually fit. So I'm writing down, I should have used a darker pen, but you can zoom in or pause it if you like. Now this is the design that I'm going for. It's a bit of like a Edwardian style kind of sofa. I mean, don't forget she has got some things saved from the past in the house. So I thought this design would fit in really well. So here I am just measuring Margaret and writing down all the measurements that I need. Please do copy these measurements and have a go yourself. So I'm going to map out the pieces on graph paper, and it just makes sure that all your pieces are accurate. On the back of the backrest, I'm just making a nice detailed back, like an arched kind of, just to give a bit of detail, and fits in with the Georgian style. I'm allowing extra on the end of the arms to allow for the curling over. Now I'm using my thick card, like hardboard. It is my favourite card. I've used it loads of times in my videos, and it just saves you having to do several layers. Now what I did use for the arms is cereal box card, because I do need to bend the edge because the end has got a rounded kind of flute to the arms, and I wouldn't have been able to produce that with the hardboard. So what I'm doing here is I've doubled up. I've got 2 pieces of card for each arm. I'm scoring the back so it glues properly, and I glue those together. Once they're both glued, I put them under a weight so they glue together tightly. Now to curl the edges of the arms, I just use my pencil and I curl it round just to get the shape. Now what I do when I put it back under the weight is I only put the flat parts under the weight and I leave the curl parts out. Now it will dry to that shape and it works great. Now I use my cereal box card again to work out the size for the padding areas on the base of the sofa. So I'm just figuring out what kind of style that I want, what kind of shape. Transfer that onto card and I cut that out. Make 2, one for the backrest, one for the seat. Now I'm sticking the seat to the backrest with super glue. When you've glued it on, hold it in place just for a few seconds, just till it starts catching, and then it's fine to go. I lightly sand the back edge of the backrest because when you cut it out you are left with little bits of card hanging off, so get rid of those. And again I'm going to use my favourite wood glue to make an embossed design on the back of the headrest. I just check the size of the arms to make sure it's still going to plan. I need to make a front cover for the arms. Now it's just like a little bit of wood that you see at the front of most sofa chairs, armchairs, you know what I mean. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So I chose like a crushed velvet for the seats. I thought that went quite well. So what I need to do on these parts now, on the seat and the backrest padding, is make some holes, because what I'm going to do is when I've covered it, I'm going to get a sewing needle, which I'll show you in a minute, and I use those holes as a guide, and I sew through, put a bead on, pull it tight, and it kind of gives that finished look to the upholstery. For the arms, I use a little bit of wadding, and that just gives enough thickness, but not too much, because I don't want them to be more padded than what the seat is. So I do allow a gap around the edges, because what I need to do is when I cover it with the material, I will use a folded edge because I want it to be neat on the edges of the arms. So hence leaving the gap, and you'll see what I mean in a minute when I do cover it. So I'm just painting the base now with a good couple of coats of acrylic, and I do like this brown, it goes quite well. And I think I should have painted this before I put the wadding on, but never mind, it works out in the end. Now to cover the arms, and I do fold and glue the edges, and that is what I was allowing the space for with the wadding before. So as you can tell, I've kept the edge folded. I do put glue on it, it will set eventually. Keep it folded and glue it down as I go. A bit fiddly, but it does create a nice neat edge, and that's what you want. Now with the uncovered side, I fold a piece to kind of fit. So the front I fold down ready. I know how big that needs to be. Glue it down, and then the back of it I glue and fold again. And when it's all done, I clamp down the edges because I really want those joins to glue as tightly as I can. I'm going to glue the seat to the base, and I will clamp that down as well just to make sure it does stick, and I do the same with the backrest and clamp that down. And while that's clamped, I attach the arms with super glue. Now, I didn't think it would work. I wasn't sure. I thought I'd try it. I didn't really want to use hot glue, but the super glue did work. I used wooden beads for the feet, but they were covered in a varnish, so I lightly sanded those so when I come to paint it, the paint will stick no problem. Back to the table, I give it another good coat of paint when it's dry, and then once that's dry, I varnish it. And these are the finished pictures, and I'm really pleased with them. This fits in really well with the kitchen. Now at the end there will be finished pics of the living room, which I've managed to pretty much finish, and the kitchen. All that needs to go in is little bits of things, but they turned out really well. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hello to the new subscribers. I appreciate you following, and please share, like, subscribe to help the channel. I will see you next time, and I'll leave you with these pictures. Bye now.